M&K Exotics presents Not Another Reptile podcast.
I forgot. I was sitting there jamming out. I forgot to put us on stage.
What's up, everybody in the comments? What's up? What's up? Today, super excited. We got Elias, a creative reptiles, here on the podcast. Gonna spend an hour and a half asking some questions, getting some fun info here. So let's get it rolling.
Let's get it going, man. What's up, Sammy? Yeah. Mr. Sammy. Happy Valentine's Day to y'all too.
Yeah.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
And what's up, James?
Talked to Sammy today.
Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah, he's coming up to Rochester next month. So
yeah, we were talking about that right before you come on to the
I'm super
backstage
stoked.
there.
Super
hey,
stoked.
Nikki. Don D.
Up,
Oh my goodness.
Father Don.
Man. We should feel blessed right now. I do. I love Dondi.
Yes.
Hey, Victory Lane. Bill. Carissa, how are you doing? Oh, there's my hearts. I always look for the hearts. Hey, Adam. How's it going, man? And he said, hey, Elias.
Hey, Father.
Hey, hang on. Hey, Wiz. How's it going, man?
What up, Wiz?
I haven't talked to Wiz in a minute.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything. We were just talking about that before you even come on, because, like, I don't know if you raise your own rats and stuff like that, Elias, but we both do.
No.
No.
I don't have the patience or the time for that.
Yeah.
It's nuts. You gotta they're so much harder than snakes.
Yes.
Yeah, my mentor does it, and I see the struggles.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, that leads me into a question I had. So Mutation Station, right? Is your mentor.
Mm-hmm.
What has it meant to you? Because I know a lot of people don't. What has it meant to you to have a mentor in the ball python game? And how has having a mentor like that helped you out?
Oh man, it's been amazing. Honestly, I've actually had a mentor prior to them. I mean, she still is too. Her name is Kathy, and she, her and her husband used to breed snakes. They call themselves Circle of Life, and they're local here. And when I first got into the ball python game, well, in reptiles in general, they took me under their wing and taught me how to first care for the snakes. So any question I had, if my first snake was a normal ball python, I had him in a glass tank, the typical mistakes with the light, no heat mat, all that jazz. So whenever he did anything weird or strange, I would call and be like, hey, what's happening? I don't want him to die. And they're like, calm down. This is what's happening. Do this, do that. So I've always had someone guiding me through everything. And then when I met Nikki and Jason, it happened because the rodent provider I had at the time went out of business, don't know, but he just sent a mass text and said, I'm out. Find some feeders on your own. And so for like 3 months, I was going to PetSmart and buying those overpriced rats. Yeah. And at that time I had 13 snakes, and that money kept adding up. And I was like, I'm spending half a paycheck on feeders. And I was just desperate, and I went to Facebook. Usually I don't go to Facebook because of all the drama, but I went to Facebook and it said, I need help. And someone said, look up Mutation Station, and they have feeders. And I messaged Nikki, and we've been tight ever since. Like, she and me, like, it became family the moment we met. Like, she took me on a tour of her house, took me on a tour of the rat room so I could see the feeders and everything and how they care for them. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. When I I had my first clutch last year, and when my girl went off food and I was freaking out because I thought it was health issues because this was a snake that had respiratory before, RI before at one point. I had to take to the vet. I was freaking out. I said, please don't let her be sick. And they said, maybe she's building follicles. Let's just ultrasound her first before we panic and go to the vet. And so I took her to them. They ultrasound and they said, oh yeah, she wants to have babies. And so it's just been a great blessing. Like, I can't imagine not going through this journey without them or any mentors at all. And hopefully when I progress and become more successful, I can be there to somebody in the future. I hope maybe one day.
100%.
Look, I think you already are. I mean, you're on podcast all the time. You're making yourself well known. You know, that right there is a big feat. Like, so many people, it's unbelievable, who cannot get up the nerve to come onto a podcast.
Yeah, and I still do to an extent, but it's kind of easier talking about reptiles. But I have really bad social anxiety. Like, when I used to go to reptile expos, if I didn't know anybody there, I would go in, get what I need, walk right back out. I'll be out in like 10 minutes. And now that I know more people and I made more friends in the hobby, now I can actually sit at a reptile show, relax, stop at a table, talk, and get to know people better. So the reptile community kind of helped me get out of my own shell in a way.
Mine too. I was in a major shell. And now, you know, you go to the shows and you have people, hey, can I take a picture with you? And you're like, do I have to? You know, but
Right. I think for me, it's like kind of weird. I was a little social, but I still am. I'm a pretty social guy.
Mhm.
But whenever I'm talking about snakes, it like turns to 100. They just, if I'm doing a presentation or whatever, like at my school, bam, I got a snake. Bam, we're good. Like, I'm open, I'm good to go. It's just, I think they're an underrated tool for like anxiety as well that I found myself. They really help me with my anxiety. Like, I'll sit there and can just hold a snake and just, okay, we're good. Or with social stuff, I'm not a guy to go and talk to a lot of people just flat out, unless I'm at a reptile expo or on the phone or in a group chat or podcast.
Yeah.
So,
when it comes to snakes, I'm the same way. Any of my customers come over, that's the first thing they say. Can we see your snake? And so, you know, it is weird because we do sell out of our home. You know, our rats are in the garage, snakes are in our spare bedroom. But I welcome everybody. I'm like, yeah, come on in. They play with the dogs, sit down and talk. You know, it wasn't that long ago when we got some new neighbors that moved in.
Yeah.
And it's a young couple, and we had just happened to be outside at the same time. It was during the summer, and they're like, so what do y'all do? You know, my husband's a plumber. They see the truck out there, and he's like, well, you know, we have our own snake business and this, and this. And they're like, what do you mean snakes? You got snakes in your house? Like, yeah, I do. And so they were terrified. I was like, don't be terrified. Just come in and sit down and I'll pull a couple small ones out. And she's like, no. And he was like, yeah, we're doing this. I'm really curious to see what happens. And so they both ended up loving them.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's so dope.
Because everybody's like, oh, it's going to be slimy. I don't know. I don't want to hold a snake.
having the snakes and rats at your house is a funny thing because, like, my neighbors were kind of the same way. But if you look at it from an outside perspective, it's like they might think we're selling something else.
Yeah.
Coming to your house for 5 minutes and then leaving. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on? And then you got, 5,000 rats in a shed out back. So makes
it well, ours, they see us out there cleaning them every week with a power washer in the driveway and everything. So, I mean, they didn't know we had rats, but they knew we were doing something. We had something. So,
right. So, one thing that happened to you that actually happened to me, but we chose two different paths. The rat breeder I was going to stopped breeding rats. So I decided to start breeding the rats, and you decided to find someone else to do it. Why? I'm guessing I know why, but was there what was your main, like, I'm not gonna breed rats, I'm just gonna go get them from someone else?
Mostly time because I'm a full-time teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And also I have creative reptiles is two different hustles. The beginning and the main is the photography
Right.
and the educational shows. Well, that covers my weekends and sometimes my nights, depending on the gigs. And then now that I'm getting into breeding, it's like that's more time taken away from me every day, on top of being a teacher, on top of being in grad school. And so I can't see myself, not at least not now. I'm never going to say never, but at least right now, I can't see myself caring for feeders for my snakes and the whole dynamic of that, because I've seen not only through my mentors, but through other people how they care for their rats. And I know me. I love all animals and I care for all animals. So if I were to breed rats, I'm going to spoil them. I'm going to give them the best of the best. I'm going to give them the best life. I'm going to give them the best housing. So that's going to be more time and money. I'm going to be OCD and trying to clean them every other day and things like that. And I just don't have the time. I can't.
Right.
They are a lot. And I do the same thing when we're out there. I'm like, oh, see this one? This one's cute. We're not feeding this one off.
I would have more pet rats than I would have feeders. My snakes would be like, it's dinner time. Like, what are we doing?
I think I had that was me. I couldn't do live. When I had my first clutch, it was really rough because my dad was like, we're going to have to feed them live, because all I did was feed frozen until I had my
Yeah.
And I remember going to the store and grabbing some, I think they were like live mice. They weren't even rats. And fed them off, and I cried the first time I fed baby snakes live. I was like, I can't. At that moment, I was like, oh God, do I really want to do this? Like, because I'm an animal guy in general. But
yeah,
I think, was it Brian? I think Brian Barczyk said, you got to choose like which one. You gotta feed something live to keep snakes. If you can't do it, then you can't do snakes. And I was like, it's the way it has to go. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, like,
I don't think anybody really likes it.
No.
Nah, especially when you hear them cry. Now one rat, it was actually ASF. It bit me. And so I was happy to feed that one off. I did not feel bad for him. I threw him at the boa constrictor, and the boa constrictor grabbed it in the air, and I was like, yes. Yeah.
Oh, I do the same thing too.
I was very angry that day.
every time one of them bites me, I'm like, there's always blood with an ASF, right?
Yes.
A mama rat will kind of nip at you a little bit and be like, hey, you're not getting my bone. No, those ASFs, they try to get your bone.
Yes.
I'm the same way though. I'm like, feed it off right now. Take it in there. I don't care.
I've never had a bad ASF bite, which is I've had one bad rat bite, and my dad had the worst rat bite I've ever freaking seen. It was got bit straight through the nail by a rat. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life, because I was feeding babies. He was over there, fed it, snake came out, he like grabbed the snake, tried to put it back, didn't see where the rat's head was, straight through the finger. I heard a scream, I looked over, just blood dripping. I was like, this is horrible. I'm not a blood guy, so I was like, oh God, oh no. But,
yeah.
But another question I had for you was with the photography stuff. You posted your first thing on Instagram in 2016, and it was a snake. And you just said you had your first clutch last season. What changed where you were like, okay, I'm not just gonna keep snakes. I'm gonna start to breed. From 2016 to 23, that's a pretty long time. What in that time did you feel like, okay, like I kind of want to breed it at this point? And
I was pretty adamant that I wasn't going to be a breeder. I was a proud pet keeper. I was one of those, those annoying TikTokers. We're not going to say no names, but I was one of those proud, I'm a pet keeper. I care for my animals. My animals are yada yada, I was a part of the problem with the whole breeders versus keepers. I'm be honest with y'all. I was part of the problem.
Somebody admit it.
But I'm just so passionate about these snakes. Like I say it all the time. I don't think most of these ball python breeders, especially the people who are getting out the hobby, really like ball pythons. Like if they had to choose one species to keep for the rest of their life, they won't do it. They won't choose a ball python. Me personally, I will be at an old folks home in my little scooter with a ball python, a normal ball python to the very end. Like I am adamant about that. And then for some reason, also I'm not gonna lie, I was making good, I still am making good money off the educational shows and the photography. So I really didn't need to go the breeding route. It was just never something that just crossed my mind. And I wanted to be different. Like I said, if I ever worked at a reptile expo like Tinley, I want to make a photo booth. A big photo booth where people come and take pictures with the snakes, and that's it. I'm not selling nothing. That I don't have to sell an animal. That was my big dream and goal. But then I became an honorary suspect on Key's show. And one Friday night, they had a couple of the guys on, and they were showing their snakes, and they were showing, I'll never forget, they were showing blackhead combos. Oh. And that just, my mind was like, oh, the snake can get that dark. It can look that orange. It can look like that. It can look like that. And I was like, I want to make one. And that's what, and so, we were in the middle of the show and I was showing off my pet snakes, like, hey, this is my normal spider. This is my normal, black pastel. This is my cinnamon. And then, Nicole, Lady T, she said, so Elias, are you going to breed? And I just humbly put my head down and said, yeah, I'm going to breed one day.
Yeah, that's funny. I love it.
And then literally the next week, my pastel coils went off food and refused to eat. And that's the one that they ultrasound. So I was like, the universe is really, just like the moment I said I want to breathe, the universe said, all right, bet. And that's how it began. They gave me a male. They gave me a cypress. They said, you want him? I said, yeah. I said, but can I do a payment plan? They said, take him home. Put him in there with coils. Let them breed. You can pay us later. And that's how I got my first clutch.
So how many snakes are you up to now?
Let's not talk about it. In the 30s or 40s.
That's not
bad. Yeah, not bad. I've been hitting these auctions, getting these different blackhead combos and other darker genes that I really want to work with. That's my main focus.
I love blackhead, spot nose. Those are, some of my way up there favorite. But I'm actually, my hurricanes are coming in tomorrow from Matt.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Really excited about those. It's mine and Sammy's together. It's one of our together projects. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. When they gave me the male Cypress Mojave Gold Blush, I didn't realize how popular and big Cypress was. Like, because as a pet keeper, when I go to reptile shows, I see a snake I like, and then I go and buy it. I don't care about the genes. I don't care about the genetics. Like, I have 100% head hypo in my rack that I've had for over 10 years. Had no idea how big hypo was. So he's just sitting there. And it's like, I just never thought about it at first. And now that I'm going into these genes, and when the babies came out, everybody's like, are you letting one of those boys go? Are you selling one of those Cypress? I was like, I'm holding everybody back.
Really?
I didn't realize how popular Cypress was.
All right.
That's funny.
So in your first clutch, you're keeping everything?
It was only 3 babies. It was 4 eggs, but one was stillborn, and it happened to be the normal. It happened to be the classic that was the stillborn. Yep. Everybody else is, either pastel cypress, Mojave Gold Blush, or cypress Mojave Gold Blush without the pastel.
Oh, nice.
Like, one is a spit image of his dad.
We're going to take a quick sponsor break real quick, and we'll be right back.
Meet Sammy. a ball python breeder with a specialty in the pipe project. When you meet him, don't be shy to ask questions about his snakes, as he loves to share his knowledge and experience with others. He is a friendly and approachable guy who is always happy to chat with fellow reptile enthusiasts. Whether you are a seasoned snake breeder or just starting out, Sammy is the perfect person to connect with if you are interested in the pipe project. So keep a lookout for that hot pink shirt. Are you looking for a place to go for affordable logo packages? In search of a top quality logo that won't break the bank? Look no further than SinkingPencil, the place to go for affordable logo packages. They offer exceptional logo packages at affordable prices.
All right. That's part one. There'll be a part two later. So besides the so you have hypo, what else recessives do you have?
A bunch of clown now. I do have some ultra male, head ultra male. So hopefully I can get some visuals. Let's see, pied, definitely got pied. I was blessed with a lot. It was like I said, I never believed in the whole manifestation until last year when I said I wanted to be a breeder, and maybe the market being as it is was a help because people are trying to move snakes. But I got hooked up with a lot of things like KG from Bomb Projects. He's blessed me with a lot of things, a lot of animals. Like he showed off a snake that was severely kinked that he said that he was going to sell as a pet only. And so everybody who knows me knows that I'm all about the disabled animals. So they quickly like DM me and said, go to Bomb Projects, go to KG. He got a snake with disabilities. Get it. So I went, I DM'd him and I was like, I want that snake. All he did was charge for shipping. And then he said, hey, do you have room in your rack for a couple of more? And I was like, maybe. And so when he shipped that snake out, he shipped me a pair of triple head pied hypo ultra males.
Dang.
And I was like, I almost dropped the snakes when I saw the bag and read the label. I was like, whoa, like, are you serious? So I've been blessed in the hobby with a lot of great starting points for, my breeding projects.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I just wanted a disabled snake with a few kinks for my educational shows. And I ended up getting a pair of triple heads.
So you do photo shoots a lot with your snakes. What is that like?
It is great. It's so much fun. Basically, for the most part, because back when I was just a pet keeper, my side hustle was strictly photography. Like I have a totally different photography page on Instagram called Elias Creatives, where I would take like portrait shoots and I would go to the zoo or I'll travel and take wildlife photography. So that was my main thing. And then finally, because I was around the creative community in Memphis, different models was like, hey, I heard you got a pet snake. Can I borrow it or can we use it? And then it just built from there. And they would tell a friend and they would tell a friend, and other photographers was like, hey, is it okay if I know you're a photographer and I don't want to, mess up the competition or anything, but could I borrow your boa constrictor? I was like, I don't care. Like, no. I'm all about community over competition. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I just want to be in my own lane in photography and in reptiles. So I collabed with a bunch of photographers. And so they know in the wintertime, don't even bother DMing me because the snakes aren't coming outside. But once springtime hits, my DMs go crazy. They'll be like, hey, we got to shoot here. We got to shoot there. I've done 2 music videos so far, up at one artist that is more well-known, and then one more up and coming, like new independent artist. So it's been fun. It's been a great ride. And they know, and people know my schedules. I'm a teacher. The only thing I can do is nights or weekends. Or if it's spring break, then they have me all spring break. Usually every spring break and fall break before it gets cold, I'll run a sale, like half off prices for photo shoots, and people take advantage of that every time because I have nothing to do. I'm just sitting at home bored.
Right. Hey, Pete. I wanted to shout this lady out right here. She did
Candy.
One of the auctions. She did a shirt and a cup for me. And so I'm really excited to get them in the mail. I think they may be here tomorrow, I hope, because I'm really excited about them.
Yes, they are great. She actually did this. We have a mutual friend named Maki, and she did this sweatshirt as well, and it has the logo and everything in the back. It's great. Candy is so talented.
Yes, that stuff. Anything to do with computers is hard. I actually had to turn down a job this week, and it broke my heart because I'm not used to doing that. That's the first time I've had to turn one down, but it was like too big for me. Like,
Oh, I understand. Like
know.
as a photographer, I get that too because people expect all photographers to like be proficient in Photoshop, and they be like, "Hey, can you take the wrinkles out of this? Can you make it look like I lost 10 pounds?" And I'm like, "Baby, no, I'm a natural photographer.
There you
I
go.
will make sure you look good, but I'm not finna spend 5-6 hours trying to get the pimples off your face. Like, we're not doing that. No, that will cost extra."
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
Yeah, nah. I'm very honest about that with clients. I'd be like, nah, if you want to look like you're in GQ magazine, go to another photographer. You can still use my snakes though.
It's going to cost. So I hope you do charge for them using
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes, of course.
You know, there's your niceness can only go so far. So
Oh yeah, no. Free photo shoots have been left years ago. Once the school systems asked to use my snakes for educational shows, and I was like, sure, I could come for $50. And they said, we're considering this a field trip. You're gonna have to go up some. And I was like, how up? And one school said, our field trips don't cost any less than 600. I was like, Jesus, 600 for 2 hours? I said, I'm charging everybody now.
Yeah.
See, I think you're I don't know if I talked about it on the show last week. I think I did, but I gotta look up if New York is the only state where you can't bring snakes into an educational facility. Because now, like here, I think I said it last week on the show. Like, I can't bring my snakes anywhere, and I'd love to bring my snakes to school or like the daycares and stuff, but I can't. I'm wondering, we're the only state that does that. Because if so,
well, some of these states, like the southern states, like Mississippi and Tennessee, they tried it. I think either last year or year before last, US ARC had an alert go out, and it was like Tennessee. And so I went and clicked on it, and it was like they were trying to pass legislative to ban traveling with your reptiles. And I was like, that's going to take money out of my pockets. Like, cause I go to Nashville, I can go to Jackson, Tennessee. I go to different cities around Memphis, and you're trying to ban to where I can't even travel to go to these schools. Like, nah. So I quickly signed that petition.
See, I don't even know when it happened, because it happened by the time I was out of elementary school till 2 years ago when I could have. So it was, I guess, within the past 7 or 8 years or so. And I was like, because I wanted to do that for a while, but I figured out you can't. But I can bring them anywhere else. I just can't bring them to a school or like a daycare facility, which is kind of crazy to me.
That's weird. Yeah.
I always do the nursing home. I've only done one birthday party, but it was $200 for an hour. That's what you need to get into.
Right. Like, I can do that, or I think I can do like nursing homes, but I can't do school.
But you can't go to a facility with kids.
No, I can't do a school or whatever, because I asked both my employers, and they were like, no, you can't. And they showed me, can't have reptiles in a daycare. And then I asked the school I went to, and they were, can't do it. No educational facilities. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
That's wow.
Nuts. Well, like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
So how long have you been doing the snakes? Like you said, 2017?
I'm not going to count the year where I did everything for free. So I would say 2018. 2018. I've had snakes since 2016, though.
Oh, wow.
And what got you into them?
That was about how long you've been in it, wasn't it?
Me?
Yeah, about the same.
I just looked at it today. I think my first clutch or something like that was in 2016. Yeah, my first clutch was in 2016. I was 12.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. Yeah, I was just looking at it earlier. So I'm 19. I had it when I was 12, 7 years ago. So yeah, right about then was when I had my first clutch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even remember. I'd have to do more math, but I got my first snake when I was 7. But
Oh
never,
wow.
That's
but never
crazy.
really.
I wish I grew up on my grandparents' farm. They had goats, pigs, rabbits. I love all animals. I grew up watching Steve Irwin and Sabumafu and all those other animal shows as a kid. But my parents were no to pets. They was like, nah, we not doing it. It took forever for us to get a dog in the house.
Really?
It was just, but the moment I got grown and I realized, oh, you can legally own a pet snake. I was working at Target at the time, and one of my coworkers had a Burmese python. We had a company picnic, and we were just out in the back of Target eating barbecue, having a good time. And he came and pulled up, and he had this big old Burmese python in a duffel bag.
Oh.
And I was like, what is that? And he picked it up and put it in my arm. I still got that photo to this day. My manager took a picture of me, and I still got that photo to this day. And I fell in love, and I was like, I want a pet snake, but I don't want one this big. And he said, and that's when he introduced me to the world of ball pythons. He said, if you want a python, but not a big one, I got you.
Yep. That's what was it? That's a super nuts story. And I think for some reason Burmese pythons are like the easiest show off snake to get people who like snakes, and then they go, I can't have something that gets 15, 16 because that's what happened to me. And I was too late really to watch Steve Irwin when he was actually doing his stuff. I watched all of his all the stuff you can find now. I've pretty much watched.
Yeah.
But Barcheck is what got me.
Yeah. Barcheck was what got me once I got in the hobby. Once I bought my very first ball python for $10 in a deli cup, it was over. Brian became my Steve. But I remember watching Steve in his prime, and that's still my hero to this day. You can't say nothing negative about the Irwins around me, or I'm cutthroat. I'm like, protect Bendy and all them at all costs in my eyes.
So how many clutches are you going to try to have this year?
This year, only 2. I'm taking it slow. Well, 1, I can't because all my females aren't ready. All the females that I really want, they're still growing up. But I know for me, I can only manage a couple of babies. Like these 3, I call them my first clutch, my grandkids. That's how much I love them. My grandkids, they are so funny, but so annoying. The boys rotate when they want to eat. The girl, the all-gener who has everything, she never misses a meal. But the boys, 1 week, one will eat, the other will skip, and then they swap. And now my Cypress Pastel, the runt, the one that I love the most because he's so little, he decided, you know what? Even though you've been feeding me frozen thaws, I want to go back on live again. So now I got to get another live rat for him. So I'm like, imagine if it was a clutch of 10 or a clutch of 6. I can't. So I'm only shooting for 2 this go round. 2 clutches.
You, Holly, Elias, you already know. But the more snakes you get, it's so weird. I was talking to a customer, the horror stories or whatever you hear about snakes. Yes, they do happen, but it's a minority. The more snakes you get,
that's what it happens.
You have to see different weird things like that. That feeding cycle between the brothers. I have a snake over there that every week he'll eat it, or he'll wrap it, he'll kill it, and 1 week he'll leave it, the next week he'll eat it. Every single time he'll do the same thing. This week he left it. Next week, last week he ate it. Next week I guarantee you he'll
gonna eat it then.
Right. And so you'll find, and everyone else in the clutch is 100 grams bigger than him because he's just an ass. But the more snakes you find, the more snakes you have, the weirder stuff can get. If you have 5 snakes, it's oh, that'll never happen. And it might never happen if you keep 5 snakes. You get to
Yeah.
you get to 70, you get to 300-400, and it's like, holy crap, it happens 10 times now. But another question I had that kind of goes on top of that was, you're doing 2 this year. What are your future plans? Do you have a clutch goal in mind for the future, or a collection size in mind, maybe 5 years from now or whatever?
I have 2. One, I'm gonna be honest, I have 2. One is very sentimental to me because it's my very first snake. Now, when I'm about to say that I'm gonna breed, everybody's gonna laugh, especially in the comments, but my biggest dream clutch is gonna be my normal ball python, my very first snake, Jafar.
Yeah.
I want to have a Jafar Jr. So I don't care what female I throw at
That's
him.
awesome.
Whoever he locks, that's who I want.
Right.
And I just want, that's just a personal goal for me. I don't care if I sell the babies or not. They can all stay in my house. I will have a rec strictly that's called Jafar's Kids right there. That's all. If they sell, cool. If not, but then there is this dream snake that I want that I don't have yet, but I'm putting in the universe, God, whoever. I want an LC from KG Bomb Projects. I want an LC. It's called, the original name is LC Black Magic, but we're just shortening it to LC. I want that, and I want to throw that to a super blackhead. That is my dream.
I love Dondi's comments.
I know, right?
15 eggs.
I know, that's going to be
in the clutch. It's going to be.
That's going to be it. Yes, I'm going to have a rack of 15 babies, all holdbacks of normals.
But to what you just said, I think is like, and you said it earlier, is what's kind of missing more now than even when I got into it, is like, especially since during COVID and past, is not a lot of people think like that anymore. Like, okay, I want this for me, not for sales or whatever. Like, I have the 2 first snakes I ever produced my first season, I still have them. And the male I made was a banana, had a paradox. I said, he does nothing for me genetically. I'm going to pair him to something and just get babies. Just because I want the first snake I ever produced to have babies. Okay, damn, done that. He's never getting paired to anyone else. He's also never going anywhere. The first female I ever produced, she's a lesser pinstripe spider. No hets, nothing like that. And she didn't go for me last year. She's never went for me. She's like 6 years old and has never went for me.
Oh my gosh.
I am going to continue to try and just do it. It's not like I'm going to get anything out of that is going to be a break the bank clutch. Lesser pinstripe, you can get him anywhere. She's a $100 snake, whatever. But to have a snake, and funny enough, she probably won't be. I've never had a snake that I produced lay a clutch for me. Females. 6. I have a female who I produced in 22 who might beat her, which is funny. But like, you find that, and I think, like you said earlier, you got to do it for the passion of it, which I think has lost on a ton of people nowadays.
Yes.
Everybody, yes.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand business is business. You do want to make money. Like with my photography, people think, oh, you making big bank, renting these snakes out and yada, yada, yada. I just want the snakes to pay for their own food.
Right.
If the money I make at these photo shoots will pay for the feeders, then I'm Gucci, because I like my 9 to 5. I love being an entrepreneur, but I don't want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I learned that as a photographer before I got into reptiles. Once I became a full-time photographer, where it was about, got to make the bookings, got to make the money, got to do this, got to do that. Oh, weddings, never would shoot a wedding again. I've done 2 and that was it. I hate those. And so I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I took a break. I took a hiatus from photography, where I told people, you can book the snakes, but don't ask me to pick up a camera, because I'm not. Like, I retired. And because once you got business and you focus on business and making money and paying the bills with that, you lose the passion and the love. I lost the love of photography once bills got involved. And it was like, nah, I want to go back to where I can just go and shoot and post the pictures or print them, because I'm old school. I still go to like CVS and Walgreens and print them out. And it's like, that's it. That's all I need. And so, yeah, I just wish that people will be less of, let me analyze and pull up the stats of Morph Market. Oh, it's 6,000 snakes and 30% of them are pastel and 20% of this and yada, yada, yada. And once you start getting into that mindset, you start to resent the animal.
Yep.
In a way. Right. Especially when you don't have the all gene or something that's worth being promoted on Netflix, every Friday.
Well, but not only that, it's like you start hating the industry too, and everybody's opinions, and you're just like, Jesus, how about just, what is it, nut up and shut up? I mean, do what you want to do. Right. Just leave everybody else alone. Don't worry about what I got, baby. Worry about what you got.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's been, again, right now is way bigger than I ever thought I would. You told 7-year-old I'm going to have 400 snakes. I probably couldn't even count the 400, but whatever. I think that's where, again, it turns into a business. And it is definitely different when it's like, okay, you got like taxes to pay. You got to pay for stuff. It is 100% different. And you like, that's for me. I'm trying to, for me, I try and split myself where it's like, yes, you gotta pay the bills. You gotta make some money, but also I'm going to breed my lesser pinstripe spider because I freaking want to, you know what I mean? If I ever do that, then I'm not doing it anymore. But I still come down here and I'm a kid, and there was a time for me where it was like, holy shoot, like, this is work now. And I don't like it. I used to say, and I still do say sometimes, I used to come down here to relax and get away from problems in life and just hold a couple snakes. Now I come down here and clean snakes for a few hours and I get stressed down here. And like, that was my mindset for a little bit. And now I've shifted that a lot. That was my mindset for months. And I was like, this is my anxiety stress. Now I stay in my room to get away from the snakes now. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, that's not why I do this. And now I sit down here. I have a couch down here. I'll sit here and I'll just sit and think and look at snakes and whatever. And if people were like that, I think the industry as a whole would get a lot more positive. There's a lot of negativity, and I hate that. Everyone who knows me knows I hate negativity. I thrive on positivity.
And that's what I love about you. You do have that about you. I mean, we've talked before about our past and stuff like that, and he's just like, hey, yeah. And like, I was actually really getting burnt out, and I still am, honestly, on the podcast stuff, right? But it's not so much the podcast, it's the work I do behind the scenes. Right. It's doing logos, it's doing this and that and the other. It's like 16 hours a day, and this chair is killing my back, and I am gaining weight fast. So I'm doing something about that now, but I know I have to break away from this part. I'm not quitting it, but I'm going to slow down and start concentrating on my animals. Like, I do my snakes. I look at them every day. I do, but really get into more of the genetics and stuff and start watching other podcasts again, because I did love them. Like, there's a lot of them I love. But there's a lot of them I'm not wasting my time on.
Not at all.
It's people's choice. If you don't love it, you shouldn't do it. There's businesses where you can do that. And this isn't one of them. Or I don't think it is or should be. You can, again, I go to school for business, I go to school for entrepreneurship. There's thousands of businesses you can do that you hate, grow, and sell. This is not one of those. And a lot of my professors who own multiple businesses like that are like, they kind of didn't understand it until they met me. And they're like, so what are you going to grow and sell it for? And I'm like, I'm never doing that. That's not the goal for me. And I don't think is the goal for anyone. So if that's your
Right.
mindset where it's like, okay, I'm going to spend X to make X and then do this for X. Like if it's all X's and dollar signs, you're working with live animals, and it can't work like that. You gotta open a tub and be like, holy crap, it's whatever, it's mine. Like this is, I love this thing. And if you don't do it, think about what you're doing.
Yeah, and
can we? Sorry, need to take our last sponsor break real quick.
Here you go.
All right. It gives us a little minute to go. Oh. I know, man. Sometimes I need it.
All right. So, Holly, do you got any more questions? I feel like
I do. You know, I love to ask this question. It's one of my favorite questions. It's, what is the dumbest thing someone has said to you after they find out that you're a snake breeder?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them. First of all,
I love this question.
For those who don't know, 2 weeks ago, I slipped on some stairs in my house and cracked my ankle bone and broke my ankle.
Oh,
so
I was wondering what the crutches were for back there.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So I've been in a cast, and I've been having, in order to go back to work, because they wanted me off work for 6 weeks. And I said, sir, I teach first graders. Not having a consistent teacher for 6 weeks will destroy that classroom. Yep. So we got to come up with something else. So he told me as long as I got a knee scooter and I use my crutches, I can go back to work. So all week long, everybody has been asking, did you hurt yourself with the snakes? Did you trip over the snakes? Did the snake attack you? Were you running from the snake? Like, that's been the question, everybody. I'm like, what do y'all think the snakes are doing to me?
Yeah. Like you just got them laying around.
Like, you're not going to break an ankle bone handling a snake. I promise you.
You might do it. The snake won't do it.
Yeah. But the other average question or craziest question I always get is, it happened at the photo shoot last Saturday. What was it? I always get, is it poisonous? Yeah. Is it poisonous? Is it gonna bite? Is it gonna kill me? I'm like, first of all, I couldn't help it, but I just said, why would I bring first I said venomous. I said, why would I bring a venomous snake to a public place with a bunch of children? Like,
yeah.
I just don't understand the logic of people. I was like, no, it's a constrictor. It's not gonna kill you if it bites you, but I promise you, it's not gonna bite you.
So that's gonna be like my saying on the back of my shirts. It's not. It's not venomous. It's poisonous, and no.
And no, yeah.
That question, it just eats me up alive.
Every time you ask that question, like, what's the dumbest question? I always think of a new one because, Elias, you actually brought it up earlier, and I was like, oh, shoot, I get that a lot. Are they, is it illegal? Like, are you breaking the law by having snakes?
Yes, yes.
I wouldn't be flaunting around, like, I don't flaunt around, but it's not like, hey, follow my Instagram, I'm doing this shady illegal business, please follow me. Like, that might be one of the dumbest questions I get too, is are they
another one I get all the time, because also when I'm just on my free time, let's say it's during the summertime, it's a nice sunny day, I ain't got nothing to do, I would take my big boa constrictor Jimmy to the park. We have a beautiful local park here, and I would take him to the park, and it never fails. He could be crawling, following me, because something about Jimmy, when we're out in public, he wants to be near me at all times. And so if I put him down in the grass, he's going to follow wherever I go. It's like walking a dog. honestly.
That's cool.
And he will crawl past people, and people say, "Is that real?" No, it's a robot. It's AI.
It's AI.
You know, Zuckerberg built it for me. Specifically. It's AI. I'm sorry. It's fake.
So
I get that all the time.
What other species do you have? I think you said boa, ball pythons. Thought I saw you had blood pythons, maybe.
I got one blood python, Avicii. I want to give him a girlfriend eventually. But those I need to conquer my fear with him because I still handle him with gloves on.
Oh, okay.
My friend Maki, she calls them diet gaboon vipers. And so because their strikes are so fast, and he will twist and turn left. You would think he's a spider ball python the way he strikes. And so when I'm cleaning his enclosure, I put my work gloves that I got from Walmart, and I pick him up, and he's going everywhere, sideways. And I'm like, look, sir, because I tried the hook. He hates the hook. And so people have suggested who breeds them, bloods like to feel comfortable. So you're going to have to use your hand and have him close to your body. I said, well, he's not going to be close to my skin. So until he calms down, I'm going to always wear gloves with him. But this week I cleaned his enclosure because he finally pooped after 3 months. Because they hold their poops forever, and they take forever to shed. They are literally slow growers. And so he finally let out his big 3-month poop that he's been holding on to. And so I got the gloves, picked them up, put them close to my chest, and put him in his holding tub. And he did not strike for the first time. I said, praise Jesus, we're making progress.
That's my favorite thing. One of the craziest things to me about blood. So I had a Sumatran for like 6 months, and it pooped once. I bought it. It was like, I don't even know, probably a few months old, whatever, ate pretty good. And I had to sell it, but it pooped once. I was like, it just is so nuts how bloods and Borneos and Sumatrans poop so little. I don't understand how.
But what would that look like after 3 months and you have a poop? Isn't that's probably the rankest smelling shit, literally.
It's horrible. You would think a Yorkie had pooped in his enclosure.
Yeah.
Because he's still a baby. He's not full grown. So you would think a small puppy pooped in his enclosure. But and I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. I had COVID in 2020. In 2020, the first year, I caught COVID, lost my sense of smell, never got my smell back. It is slowly, after 3 years, slowly starting to come back with certain things like paint. I can smell faintly. I can't smell BO, thank God. Thank God I can't smell nobody's body odor. Some kids in my classroom sprayed Axe spray, couldn't smell it. I had no idea what was going on. People was like, what's that smell? I couldn't smell nothing. But the moment he pooped, I walked in that house, I said, who did something? And that's how bad it was that I can faintly, not strong, but I could faintly smell that someone had pooped. And the first thing I went to was the boa constrictor. I was like, Jimmy, did you do something? Nope, you're clean. And finally, I went to Avicii's tub, and it was horror. I was like, Jesus, that's like 50 rats.
Right. It's so nuts. The Sumatra I had was probably 800 grams. It might have been the size of maybe like a yearling ball. It pooped bigger than like my 3,000 gram females. It's like, how?
Yes.
It's like 60% of your body weight was poop. That doesn't add up.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I can't.
And he's still chunky, so I'm like, what weight did you lose?
I can't even imagine if I still had that boy. He'd probably be damn near full grown right now. How? I kind of want to see like an adult or whatever. Like what? How? Like what comes out of that? How? I couldn't imagine a freaking 15-pound blood adult.
I'm so afraid of grown man Avicii. I'm so happy he's a baby right now. I'm so not ready for full grown Avicii because them poops gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Tyler, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I had one more. I gotta look. I had it written in my notes. Trying to say it. Oh, so genetics. You like the blackhead. I know you like the Cypress stuff. What genetics do you not have that you want to get in the future, and what would you want to do with those? Like what projects would you want to get those into as well?
LC
Yep,
is number one.
to the black.
The LC Black Magic, and then the Gorilla. I
Oh,
want
Lord.
my whole goal, which is probably a lot of people's goals, is to get a ball python that can be as black as an IMG boa. I think that's when it comes to the dark genes, I think that's everybody's goal. Can we get something as close to?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, when I first got it, not growing up, because I was growing in this hobby. Since I've been in the hobby, everybody likes the panda pies or the pandas or the sumas or what's the other or like the stormtroopers, and all those animals, as beautiful as they are, have had issues. Super cinnamons have kinks, and all black pastels if they're supers. So my goal is to not focus more on the supers, but maybe the allelic combos or even the non-allelic combos that just happen to be dark could solve our problems, because I believe that not every snake has to be a super. Every time we have a new gene, whether it's recessive or codon, the first question people ask is, how does it look when it's aging? And also like,
There you are.
so it's like, how could we get a snake that's as beautiful, black, vibrant, but not have the deformities, the issues, the genetic problems, the kinks? Like, I can't rescue all the kink snakes in the world. I wish I could, but I can't. And I don't think that's fair to the snakes themselves. We constantly trying to breed these supers, knowing, like, I love black pastel, but I'm trying to stay away from super black pastel as much as possible. So I try to pick other dark genes to collab with them safely, so we don't have any issues in babies.
That's super, super smart. When you said panda pie, it threw me back. That was the first project I ever got.
That's everybody's dream right there.
Right. So it was the first animals I bought with a specific goal to make a panda pie. Right. And I made 3 of them last year. No issues in any of them, which was great.
That's great.
I never had an issue with any of that stuff, but I'm never gonna do it again in
Rob, I think they all
on
do.
purpose. Yes, the Barnhart has more issues. Tom said he's never gonna do. Tom Barnhart himself said he's never doing super black pastels again. There's other lines that have less chances, like the line I started my panda pied with is ENG, IANG. And actually, a very interesting thing I just learned about Barnhart Black Pastel was it has been tested and like in genetic testing, and for some reason has not been coming back as Black Pastel.
Wow. So it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing.
I said that the other day, and somebody argued with me. I'm like, no, really, I really think it's different, and I'm glad you said that, Tyler.
Yeah. Tom said, or I got told from a friend who heard it from, I don't know if it was Charlie or RGI, but Tom sent in sheds and they were not coming back. Right. As Black Pastel. So I don't know if it's something completely different. Right. It's weird, but the darkest, actually, I'll show them really quick. This is the darkest snake I've gotten.
Oh, wow.
And it's not a super or anything. It's just, and when it came out, it didn't even have this gold stripe on the back. It's getting a little more gold on the top, but it's a GHI Mojave Black Pastel Yellow Belly KRG.
Oh, wow.
It's stupid dark. It's got a really nice dark head, too.
Yeah, I like that. That's
And
nice.
I made a little promise to myself. I'm not gonna do panda pies or super black pastels on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a chance I could hit them again because I have so much black pastel and so much pie
Yeah.
going around. So it might happen. I'm gonna try not to, but my goal is I made the 3 I wanted. I'm not gonna do it again because I have the same feeling as you, where it's like it's not worth the risk. But again, the super mahoganies are great, and then you throw a black pastel on that, and bam, they're super dark. And the IMG stuff, I wish there was an IMG ball python. That would be
Yes. Yes, I think the closest is going to be that LC, because if you've seen KG's Super LC, that iridescence on that snake,
amazing.
that thing is fire.
I don't I remember the first time I saw an LC black magic 4 years ago in Europe. I was like, oh,
Wow.
shoot. And then I saw one in person. I don't even remember the first time I saw one in person, but I've seen one in person, and it was sick. I loved it. But I want to see the gorilla too, like you said. Super interesting, super new. Was it the blackhead gorilla? That was like,
oh yes, that was when I saw pictures of that, and people have vouched because word on the street that it's the same as HRA. I don't know until we get genetic testing to prove otherwise. I'm gonna state it as gorilla's his own thing, and the breeder himself said that he has tested with he has bred with HRA, and he can prove that they are 2 different genes. So
yeah,
I think it is. I believe it is.
I've seen them in person, and they were gorgeous.
This,
he had them there in Tinley.
Yeah. The Brad Boa has the IMG ball, but I don't know if it's proven. Will, you might know more than me. I think I've seen it. I was gonna say I saw an IMG ball, but I don't know if it's been reproduced.
Well, if the
proven, and I've only seen 1 or maybe 2 pictures of it, and I would like to see more before.
Yes.
Bam.
Same. Same.
Yes, reproduced it. Was it how many times? Is my question.
How many times, and why isn't it readily available at this point? Like at this point,
I'm gonna have to talk to him.
There's a lot of people though working those projects like that don't let go of a lot,
And that's why, and that's another reason why I decided that I wanted to breed, because I'm not knocking any breeder that wants to hold on to their creations. You created it. Hats off to you. But I want to make my own version. Yeah. I'm not going to sit around and wait 15, 20 years till you decide to get out the hobby or retire or finally let it go after you done bred it all the way up and down Mississippi River. I'd rather just make my own or my own version of it.
Yeah, I think that is the best part about ball pythons. It is the art with it, and if you see something you like, you can take different paths to do it. You can make it, depending on what the combo is, you can make it in 2 years, or you could say, hey, don't care, I'll make it in 10, right? And it's all up to financials and the time you're willing to put into it. But
or make your own version of it. Like
that's what I'm saying.
There are genes that we now know are similar to each other, even if they're not the same genetics. They like the pattern disruptors and stuff, they can do similar things. So why not? If I can't afford a puzzle, let me go get Puzzle's cheap cousin on the other side. What is it? Hurricane Trick? I don't know all the genetics. Whoever they said look like Puzzle, why not make my own version of that?
Right. I think you got to do it. You can do it yourself, and I think that's one of my favorite things in the art portion of it. Is like I'm the worst artist of all time.
There is Super Strangers, right?
There is Super Strangers, but they're not like, because that's how Justin figured it out, that they're not the same as mahogany. He bred them.
I think where's he at here? Oh my goodness, Blue Line does a lot of stranger.
Yeah,
I think that's where I've seen it at.
But yeah, Krypton's
Krypton. Okay, I couldn't think of the gene. Somebody was like puzzled, but the chief cousin.
yeah. But my fourth grade art teacher said it looks like I have a stroke on paper when I do some art. So I'm not the artiste myself, but I can make these living pieces of art. So freaking cool, so insane. I love that portion about the hobby, and you don't have to listen to anyone to do it. You can do it again as a pet keeper, a hobbyist, a breeder, or a leading edge Justin or Billy kind of
I
person.
never want that much power. I commend those guys. Don't get me wrong. I commend those guys, but I don't want that much power to where all those eyes are on me. Everybody's waiting to see what I'm doing so they can figure out what they're doing. Like, I don't want that. I'd rather just be in my little corner over here with my little normals and my little black pastels and my little black heads and just call it a day.
And that's the power of it. You can do whatever you want in this, and especially with all of our mentality on this, chat is we like the snakes for snakes. So, again, if I had to sell 400, all my snakes and keep 5, I don't think in my life ever not going to have one snake,
not at all.
If something happened where it was like, okay, Tyler's toxic ball is going to be a thing, I'm still going to have a couple of snakes to have snakes.
Yep.
And that's what you can do.
Yeah.
Facts. You'll never see a post from me saying everything must go, because everything is not going. The original 10, the OG 10 that I've had for years, ever since 2016, they're not going anywhere. Nowhere at all.
Yeah. I've had that struggle too. I let go. I don't know if he's in here. Is Jason in here tonight? Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him.
He bought my original het pied female. I think it was last week. I shipped it to him. And
wow.
First snake to ever give me a visual recessive. So
I've
been weaning out a bit of some of my own, but the first snake to ever give me a clutch, she's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh no. My
Lesser
Coils. Nope. Coils, my pastel, she gave me my first grandbaby. She's not going anywhere. Not to mention, she gave me my first grandbaby. She bred for the first time at the age of 13 years old.
Wow.
She never went off food. I've had her for that long. She's never gone off food. Never built, well, she probably did build follicles. I just didn't know it, but never visually acted like she wanted to breed until last year. She was 13 years old. So she's not going nowhere.
That's insane. Never went off food.
Never went off food. She's been a wonderful eater.
All of them. Can all my snakes be like that?
I know, right? That would be amazing.
But she's also the same snake that's only the snake in my collection who ever got RI. But that was my fault. I had her enclosure right by the air conditioner. That was my fault. So I kind of messed up with the husbandry.
And you learn. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing too, is again, no shade. I'm not a drama guy. When you get in and you have the other side of the industry, you get in with a ton of money to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Kind of meant, and that experience, you know what I mean? So now you know not to do that. But,
yeah.
Every person I've ever talked to or has asked me, even like Frank, great buddy of mine who has spent a lot of money getting into snakes, also loves snakes, but hey, dude, breed X and Y first, a normal to a gravel, or if you did a gravel to a red striped yellow belly or something like that. Because would you rather have a learning curve with those snakes who might be $50, $100, $200, or a learning curve with a $10,000 animal?
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm doing with Jafar. He's a $10 normal, and he's going to my Bungo yellow belly red Jane. No hits, nothing big extravagant, nothing super expensive. So, the babies are going to come out either bongo or normal, know.
And you can't top experience.
Yeah.
My opinion. You can spend all the money you want getting snakes. Like, I think the entry level, again, from business school, getting the basis of competition in the industry is very low. You need not a lot of money to get 2 normals and breed snakes.
Yeah.
You do need a lot of money to like go get, a sunset clown hat pied or whatever. But even if you spend a shitload of money on snakes, you can't have the experience of putting your snake next to an air conditioner and like learning, okay, that causes an RI. How do I fix an RI? Or my snake won't eat. How do I do this? This baby won't eat. This baby has hard belly. You can't. No amount of money can teach you how to do that.
Exactly.
Gosh.
But it's a fun journey, though. Giving my snake shots for her RI every couple of days for 2 weeks was stressful, but it was an experience. And now, if I ever have that situation again, I'll just call my vet. I'll be like, yo, I'm about to come pick up some needles. I've learned it. I've done it. Stick it in. We're good.
That's another crazy thing that I get asked a lot. What, like the vet bills or whatever. I have 0 vet bills.
Yeah.
I've been to a vet.
That was the only vet bill I've ever had.
I've been to a vet once, and it was with a corn snake I used to have. That wasn't even mine. It was my neighbor. She was in the military, so I took it. Had an RI, got that done. Every other thing that's ever happened to a snake here, I've dealt with.
Fix it on your own.
Right. And that's the other, like, you can't teach how to fix a prolapse.
Right.
No. None of my vets, no, and my vet is a good vet. He's a good reptile vet, but I can guarantee you he would not even help me with that. He'd be like, baby, I don't know what we're doing.
All the vets, I don't know if it's the same around you guys, but all of our exotic vets, there's none within an hour of me, and they're all appointment based. So if I have a super emergency, and everyone knows, reptiles, if you know something's wrong, you got to get it fixed ASAP or it's too late.
Yep.
So I have an appointment for 2 weeks down the road when my snake has a prolapse.
Yeah.
So you figure it out and you get it fixed. That snake is in this rack right now doing freaking great growing follicles.
And that's another, like, you have friends that's been in the industry for so much longer. Call one of your friends up. I mean, and just valuable information you can get from them and actually save yourself most of the time a trip to the vet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the other power of having a mentor, or like I said, maybe last week or the show where I was on myself, the power of a network.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like my mentor, she was a retired vet tech. She was in the military and she was also a vet tech. So any health issues, I just call her and be like, Nikki, what's going on? and she'll be like, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out together.
And for you, it's Earl, right? Like Earl's that guy, Holly.
What's that?
For you, Earl. You
no, I really don't call him. I get in our group chat and ask in there. And most of the time, if it's really important, Chris from it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Again, you can pay money for snakes. You can't pay money to have friends. Or you can to have fake friends, but that's neither here nor there. But you learn so much doing it, and I'm so excited to have not just this podcast, but the community that Holly is building, Elias, you're building, that I'm trying to build, to just keep growing and make the impact that I think is needed, which is, again, positivity, friendship.
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm working on it myself because If y'all follow me long enough, y'all know I can go on some rants when I get passionate about something. But look, I wrote in my notebook my New Year's resolution: be more like Bosa. I gotta try to be more like Bosa with the positivity.
Right. Well, now you need to write another quote in there. Now, don't test my Jesus. You heard it here first.
Yes, don't test my Jesus. Yes, I gotta write that in too.
I gotta have a shirt made.
That would be the group. Oh my god.
All right, guys. Well,
but
what up, Pete?
Hit a button I wasn't supposed to, but
don't be like me. I cut a whole podcast off before. Don't be like me.
I'm sure I've done it. If it can be done, I've done it.
Oh my god.
So my mouse looks like this, right?
Oh yeah.
It has all these buttons. There's buttons on both sides. So I mean, just one slip of the finger and you're screwed.
Oh man.
But
hey man, how's it going? That's where my lace clown is coming from. No, that's Phil. It's Kevin. What I get for not having my old lady glasses on. That's funny, Don.
Hush, Father, hush. Dundee mellows me out. He's the voice of reason. When I be going crazy, he just be like, man, you just gotta calm down. Don't take it personal. Dundee is the voice of reason because I be going ham.
So why do y'all call him Father?
Because he's the father of the group. We have our own podcast on Tuesdays, and the rest of us are like wild hyenas, and he's Scar on the rock, just looking like I'm surrounded by idiots, like the whole time. So he's the voice of reason. So when we're going at it, cracking jokes or saying stuff of our past that we shouldn't say on live television, he's like, "Hey y'all, calm it down. You might not want to say that out in public. You might not want to incriminate yourself of things you did 10 years ago." And all we do is just say, "Yes, Father." That's all. Yes, Father. Yes.
I think this is the first podcast since I met him that I didn't get to do my little hearts. Did he tell you that story?
Oh, yeah.
Did he tell you that story, though? I loved it.
I think so.
So, Tyler may not know. So we were at Jeremy's birthday, and we were on our way leaving, and him and Nicole, I wanted to get pictures with them, right? And I was standing there, and I got this beautiful woman on this side, this beautiful man on this side, and I'm like, Oreo. They both died. I'm just that person, and it was just so great. So every time we see each other in a podcast, we got to do our Oreo hearts.
Yes, he did tell me that was funny. Yeah.
Will, yeah. KRG and Calabash are the same. It's KRG is just short for Calabash Reduction.
See, and I'm so new to the hobby, I never heard of neither one of them.
Not a lot of people have. It's an interesting gene.
I love it. I actually want to get one really bad.
They're super cool, but it's one of those genes that even people in the industry for a while just don't even know about, and it's been out for a decent amount of time, and it's just not been
right here
thrown out.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Coco. Coco is our biggest cheerleader.
Sammy said, "Show me some snakes."
I could go grab something right quick.
Well,
yeah.
Can you have somebody bring it? She's got a broke foot.
Oh, it's okay. I got my crutches. I can do it real quick.
Okay, I just don't want you hurting yourself. Don't slip on nothing. Don't fall. Don't hit your head.
I'm not. I'll be right back.
I've seen some KRGs that look like Blade.
Oh, sorry. I think we clicked on it at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, but it's gonna ratio to half the snake or spot. There, it's such a. I don't even know how to describe
Grab
it.
one. Grab one. Grab one.
The ones over here, I got.
And if y'all have never met Tyler, he's so super tall.
I'm not. I mean, I'm a little above average height for a guy, but that's
Okay, what are you like 6'2"?
I'm 6'1", which average guy height's like 5'10", 5'11". So I'm not too much. Dude, are you gonna like chill? So that's an M&K KRG. Then he's het pied and posset hypo, but I don't have any. The least genes I have in KRG is pastel, and she's like a big girl over there. And she does reduce the pattern even a little more, but it's one of those genes that you can do the same snake twice or the same combo, and it'll kind of turn out different.
James, that's funny. James said, I'm 5'3". Almost everyone is tall for me.
But here's, and then the other one I got that's a simple combo, but it's got that KRG in it. So this is a KRG pied visual female. She's got the weird.
Oh, that's nice.
The weird patterns on a pied, like alien heads in a pied, is really different. Everyone's seen a pied, but even showing this to some people at Tinley were like, "Whoa, that's pretty weird having alien heads on a pied." But yeah, let's throw Elias up there.
Okay. She's about to go in the shed, but this is one that I wish was be ready this year, but we won't be able to breed her to next year. She is a blackhead HRA Mojave.
Oh,
So,
that's
see,
beautiful.
show that head. There we go. So
Wow.
she was gonna be the one to go to my boy Jafar, but since she's not gonna be ready, the bungo is gonna go to him instead.
Yeah.
But
That
I
is
still
so-
love her. I got her from Eky Clouds, Tommy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
I love
blackhead
the way that-
gene I love and don't have.
No, you don't have any blackhead?
Nope.
That's a crime against humanity.
I didn't have to say anything.
I have a lot of blackhead.
Yeah, it's one of those genes I really like, but for some reason, I've had opportunities to buy them, and kind of went with a different snake. Like I think at Tinley, I was looking at some like blackhead clown stuff and decided to buy a different clown, and that's happened a few times where I'm like, oh, it's this blackhead combo or X, and I always choose X, and one of these days I have to choose blackhead. I got a trade like a while ago that this girl said it was a blackhead, black pastel yellow belly. I'm pretty sure it's just a black pastel yellow belly. And yeah, really rookie mistake by me at my first show, but yeah. So technically I do have a blackhead, but I'm pretty sure it's not blackhead.
You don't want to claim it until you know for sure.
No, I've hatched enough black pastel yellow bellies to be pretty confident that's a black pastel yellow belly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the first show I ever did. A woman came up and was like, "Oh, would you trade for that? I got this blackhead, black pastel yellow belly." Barely even looked at the snake. And as it's gotten older, I'm like, dude, that's just a black pastel yellow belly. Which I have no clue what I'm gonna do with now, but
You can build something with it though.
the hard part is I have so many. I have a black pastel yellow belly pie. I have a black pastel. So a lot of the black pastel stuff I have is yellow belly and also like het pied or like clown or something. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with her now. If she was blackhead, which again she might be, if they have a test for it, do they have a test for it?
I don't think so, not yet. I don't
If they
think
ever
so.
make a test for it, I'll test her and if it comes back positive, then great. I don't know how to ID blackhead, but if it comes back negative, which I'm pretty sure it will, I have no clue what to do with it. But it's one of those genes. I have a lot of snakes and a lot of genes. Like I don't have lace. Like a lot of genes I don't have. I don't have lace. I don't have like redhead, blackhead, any of that stuff. That even the blackhead and lace is like semi-common genes now, and like a lot of people like them and have them. And for some, like I don't have hurricane or trick or blitz either.
Well, it's just hurricane. So
That's what to answer your question from earlier. That's what I want. One of those trick blitz things. One of them. I don't have to have all of them. Just one.
It's one of those things when like you have a lot of snakes and for some reason don't have some of the genes that everyone else has, and they have or whatever.
But now that I know that they're the exact same, I'm going for the cheaper option.
Hopefully I'll be getting a lace soon. I cut a clutch on Monday with my buddy. Hit some crazy. They're not.
Will. I'll be back. I have that blackhead, red jean, ringer jean. I'll be back.
Oh man,
I don't understand the
it's red jean, ringer jean. Yeah. They typically, I don't know why it's never been explained to me, but they're usually together.
I know kind of what it is. Like the red jean, ringer jean, and like ringer jean brings alien heads like higher up or something like that. I don't know.
I have one in there, but she's eggy.
Yeah. Right. It's just very.
Give it to Holly.
Right. I've never seen just a straight up red jean or a straight up ringer jean. You know what I mean? It's always blackhead, red jean, ringer jean.
Yeah.
And again, I know it's attached, like Will said, to a lot of blackhead stuff. But I don't know what goes on with it outside of the black.
That's another thing I hope to do is to get the single genes, to breed the single genes of those. So this is Jafar's other girlfriend, Maleficent. She is a blackhead, red jean, ringer jean, leopard. Where's the camera? There you go.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I will send you a picture of this fake blackhead I have, and you'll have to let me know. You'll have to let me know if it's a blackhead or not.
Okay, I'll try the best I can do, but all my blackheads, their heads are super black, but hers is blacker than all of them.
Like, where is she? She's right here, but like, I don't know. She's weird.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I don't know the difference between red jean, ringer jean either. So hopefully when I throw her to my normal, he could help us figure it out. We could get some single jean red, red ringers and figure it out what they really look like. Cause I've never seen them separate.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know what it'll do. Cause again, I know the blackhead, red jean, ringer jean does look different from a blackhead. But what happens when you put red jean or ringer jean or both, whatever, into spot nose or clown by itself without blackhead, or then it'll be interesting. Because I do like the blackhead, red jean, ringer jean, in my opinion, looks nicer than just a straight blackhead. But what is it gonna do in other stuff when it doesn't have the blackhead per se?
Yeah. Let's see what you're holding there,
Tyler. Here. This is the fake blackhead, I think. I'm pretty sure it's not a blackhead. To me, it looks like a black pastel yellow belly.
Well, she's super dark for sure, but honestly,
just a black pastel yellow.
I don't want to lie to you, Tyler.
I already know. I'm pretty damn confident. But yeah, like I got her, she's probably 200 grams. She's like 1,500, and I might just put her for sale.
No, Will even said that head ain't blackhead.
Yeah. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
God, I got her a while ago. Literally my first show. It's like, and it was like, oh, sick, blackhead. Barely looked at the snake. Then brought it home and was like, I'm pretty sure that's not blackhead. And as it's gotten bigger, I'm even more confident it's not blackhead. So, yeah. really, really rookie mistake by me. You got to look at the snake you're trading for.
That woman got a steal from you.
And I'm not even mad at what did she get? She got like a OD pastel yellow belly het hypo, and it was 50% het clown pied. Which, if it's het clown pied, then all right, then we got
some blackheads have less eye stripes, but like Maleficent, she still got her eye stripes. But it's not guaranteed. Not all blackheads, you know. Some of them will still have it.
Good eye stripes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's black pastel, buddy.
But yeah.
Send it to Sammy.
Sammy, I got you, buddy. When you come up here in March, yeah. But so yes, I do not have blackhead, and it's a gene I'd like to get. I'd like to get a blackhead clown or a blackhead. I saw a blackhead redhead the other day.
Ooh.
Blackhead redhead. You got me.
Redhead is looking nice, but I've learned that I can't have everything. Every time I see a nice combo, I'm like, that's nice. I don't need it in my. I have no purpose for it right now.
My husband's still waiting for me to say those words. He'll never hear it out of my mouth.
I've gotten more like you. I used to be, still kind of am. Holly, where it's like, I want every freaking snake ever.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, I can't have 17 different recessives because I think right now I might have like 13 different recessives, and it's just
I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right.
My issue is everything I want more codums than recessives, but nowadays because of the market. Everybody has 1,000 recessives with their codons, and it be the recessives I don't want.
Yeah, and you can't, and I find that too, is you can't, unless you know the person or are really good friends with the person or whatever. There's snakes that I find that are $2,000 or whatever because it has this recessive, but I don't even want that recessive in it. You know, Orange Dream, like my buddy has a chance to hit clown, het desert ghosts, and then they're going to be pos het hypopide. Okay, I want the clown double het hypopide. I don't care about the desert ghost for me, which is a weird thing to say because a lot of people.
No, it's not. I'm the same way.
I love desert ghost, but it's one of those things where I'm going to grow it like slowly and whatever. So it's going to be a $4,000 snake because it has het DG or whatever, just random numbers.
And we don't want to. We don't need that.
It's a $1,000 snake if it doesn't have the het DG. And that happens a lot. Oh, it has het puzzle. I don't want the het puzzle when you're charging $2,000 for the het puzzle.
Right.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's such a good thing with all the genetic testing now. You can say, hey, I'll pay for it. Have this snake tested. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's an interesting I want to see Justin said how it's going to change the market and change collections.
Yeah.
In a few years. Right now it's not going to do much, but you know, in 5 years maybe your collections have to be smaller, or don't have to be, but can be smaller. Or maybe in 5 years there will be no 50% hets on morph market. Or no 66% hets on morph market. Never know.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I don't know if we'll ever get that way.
I don't think we will.
Right. Just because there's going to be people who are very hobbyist breeders breeding a het pied X het pied and don't want to spend $50 to test or $60 to test. Yeah. I think that's going to be very, very. I think that's going to happen. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a lot of the breeders like myself and like a lot of other people are going to say, let's. If it's not het, it's $10 less. If it is het, it's $300 more. Or if it isn't het, I'm going to sell it. If it is het, okay, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's important.
Oh, absolutely.
And
whatever it takes to further your project, but at the same time to have that reassurance that, hey, this is going to be a great snake to keep, or hey, yeah, I'm glad I tested this. It's got to go.
Right. And I hate people who hate on hets. I don't know if you've seen those people where it's like, oh, I'll never buy a het. Why? Why?
Sometimes the head influences is 10 times better than the actual visual. I've seen it.
Lavender is the prettiest hat
I've
that I've
seen
ever
it.
seen.
Which one?
I've
Like-
seen the head influences of certain snakes, and it's like I'd rather have the head than the actual visual.
Yep.
The visuals that be disappointing to me.
Oh, there's the genetics are such an interesting thing with the hats. You never. Yeah, it's weird with the hats.
It's weird.
With the hats. Hat monsoon, kind of like the hat monsoon better than a visual. It might.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
Right. Because of a visual monsoon, you might take 99% of combos away just with how powerful that is. Hat monsoons look really weird and wonky. Maybe you can make crazy combos that are hat monsoon.
Yeah.
Well, or I think like
I've seen a couple of I've seen a few het ultra males. Now I love visual ultra males. They are beautiful. But I've seen some het ultra males where I don't know what it's doing to the other genetics. They look just as beautiful. I'm like, I'm good with the het. I'm
Yeah.
fine. It doesn't have to be that orange.
cool.
All right, guys. Well, we're over an hour 35 here. I know we've been on here for a while.
It's been a party.
It has. It's been so great having you on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on.
No problem. It was fun. I really enjoyed myself.
Well, you come on anytime
Thank
you
you.
want to. You want to come on a Saturday and sit and
Yeah.
bullshit with us? That's fine too. We love it. We would love it.
Hey, thank you everyone in the comments.
Yes.
you.
Yes, thank you for tuning in, everybody.
All right.
We'll
See you guys
next
later.
Monday.
Bye.